¿Qué pasa, mi raza? Welcome back to Los Fantasy Cuz. Today I got my compa Cuz with me, my compa Gabby. We got El Diablo Naranja today, and we got San Eduardo Sanchez with us today. What's up, guys?
What's up, familia? Thanks for coming on, listening to us again.
We're back. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's go. Good to be back. I've been on hiatus for a couple weeks, but it's good to be back.
Oh, yeah. And, I think all of us are wearing some sort of Mexico jersey today because, we got a few good topics to talk about today. The past Mexico and U.S. friendlies that happened last weekend, and I think this week. We're going to talk a little bit about the FIFA Club World Cup, a little NBA, a little MLB, some transfer news and rumors, some Chivas news, and we'll end it with a Mount Rushmore. Sound good to you guys?
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's start with some Mexico and U.S. friendlies, where last weekend we saw Mexico play Switzerland, and what was the score? 4-2?
Yeah.
4-2. And what'd you guys think of that game?
I was excited, and then the product on the field made me feel otherwise. I don't know. It's still early. Props to Switzerland. They have a decent team.
They have a lot of good players that play on some big teams.
I don't know if you guys watched the whole game, but I guess you can call the first lineup that he put out maybe like the not the starters. Most of them, I would say.
Did he start with two forwards or was it one forward? Wasn't it Santi and Raul at top?
Yeah, both of them. It was a 4-4-2.
And we just couldn't get it done. I think Switzerland was above the whole time. Did Mexico ever tie them? Was it ever like a 2-2 at one point? No, huh?
I think it was 1-1 at some point when on Santi's goal. I think we were 1-1 at that point.
Oh, yeah. That's right. And I remember that goal. The defender kind of popped it up. Santi just headed it really easily. So that was an easy goal.
Yeah.
Any other players that stood out to you guys, like good or bad? Wasn't Tala started in goal in that game?
Yeah, pobre, lo golearon, pero pues ni modo.
So it's okay.
Go. My compadre called it. Sepulveda comes in and then scores right away.
That was good to see.
Scored for Mexico.
Was it a Vega assist? I think he came on in the second half.
Who in the group chat was talking? I think Osvaldo was saying, like, why the hell is este cabrón that plays on Cruz Azul? Why
Charlie.
Charlie? I don't like how he plays. I don't like how Charlie plays. And also the right back
Lara.
Wasn't it Lara? What team does he play on?
Well, he was on the fucking Puerts, and now he's on this Puerts 2.0.
Dude, there's so many times, like I even said in the group chat, I was like, our defense looks like a Sunday League defense. Why?
No, I think for sure this is one of those games where Tala was set up to fail. And I think it's the second game that they've done that to him. I don't know if you guys remember back, it might have been like a year ago when we played Uruguay here in Denver, and it was like 4-0 or 5, something.
We got
like
killed.
That.
Yeah, we got killed.
But it was another game kind of that Tala's performance doesn't speak for the game. They let him down big time. The defense was non-existent, and I think that's what it makes Tala look bad, and it fuels the fucking fire of this whole like Malagon versus Tala thing. It's like give a game to Tala with the same defense you put for Malagon, and then judge him off that. Don't judge him off a defense that's never played together and a bunch of players who haven't even had any selección experience. That's the only thing I hate, is that le ha tocado mala suerte cada vez al Tala.
I agree, but he did make a few decent saves in that game still, I saw.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why he's called up to Mexico too. That's why he's called up to the selección.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess, who the starters are going to be tomorrow. And I don't see him like moving too many pieces around like we used to see with Osorio, where he would rotate. But I don't know, maybe he's using this as a test too to see, I guess, what his starting lineup's going to be for next year. We're still far away to like set a starting 11, but we got to go out and win this tournament. No excuses, like we said.
You don't think like tomorrow starting lineup? You don't think that'll be the team for the tournament?
No, that's what I think. That's what I'm saying. I think it is going to be. Like, I don't, unless something crazy happens or someone gets hurt or
I think there's still a lot of not a lot of positions, but I think there's still some he's not for sure on some positions still. Like, you take the 2 games, the performances from the 2 forwards up top. Obviously, Quiñones with Sepúlveda looked a lot better during the game, but going into it, I think you can't think that's your front 2. Like, it's got to be the Jimenez pair. So I think that's one where he's still going to play it around. And I think the one that I saw him touch up on a bit is that right back position. I think he's had like 6 different right backs, and he hasn't had one guy who I think he trusts yet. Exactly. And it's just that pair for Edson. He doesn't figure out who it is, whether it's Marcel, whether it's Lira, Charlie, Luis Chavez. Like, that's one of the more positions that just kind of moves around. I think the back line, except for the right back, is pretty set. Which is a Johan, Cesar Montes, and Gallardo. And then Edson's a starter for sure. And then, but like I said, outside of that, I think there is a little bit of still like it's a toss-up.
And I hope he goes with the hot hand too. For example, if like Alexis Vega has ended the Liga MX on a good note, like I hope he continues to ride that streak and Vasco Aguirre uses him.
Yeah, Mateo Chavez looked pretty good. It's good to see someone maybe compete for that spot. I mean, Gallardo obviously has the experience over him, so he's going to lean that way, but it's good to see these younger guys trying to battle for these spots.
So, yeah, Mexico versus La República Dominicana de Conchanchana, right?
You got a divided house.
Yep, that's okay. I already told her if Mexico doesn't win more than 5-0, ni me hable. Que ni me hable.
Bro. Uber or what?
Yeah, and we're going to have to get her an Uber too, porque va a estar cabrón.
You should bet on it.
No what?
You should bet on it.
We're going to have different side bets.
You got to take, from here on out, on podcast days, you got to take an Uber.
Boy, if in the future she listens to this, ahí está. The other game that happened, I think on the same day, it was right before the Mexico Switzerland game, was U.S. versus who?
Wasn't it Turkey?
Oh, Turkey, that's right. What was the score on that one? I know U.S. lost.
2-1.
Oh, so that one was closer. That one was a closer game because they played a few days after that to Switzerland, and they got murked by Switzerland.
Yeah, that was fucking bad, dude.
It was like 3-0 in the first 25 minutes. So by halftime, it was like 4-0 at half. So I saw a little bit of that one. And we know that the U.S. didn't bring all their European players over here. So I'm not very surprised that they're having these kind of results. The only thing I heard
I don't know if that was up to the U.S., though. Seems like the players didn't want to come.
That's right, because Landon Donovan was talking a bunch of smack, huh, Eddie? Do you remember what he said?
I mean, he's just calling out the guys that don't want to come and play for their country. Obviously, they kept talking about it even like during the UEFA games.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's related to what they know. But they're using that as a reference as like, look how much it matters to these guys. Why doesn't it matter to our guys?
Well, and specifically, I think it was more like, look how much it means to Ronaldo at 40 years. And it's like Pulisic and all these guys who aren't even mid-20s yet, and they're not showing the same love and care. And it's like, look at Ronaldo at 40, and he's fucking crying still. Like, exactly. It just shows.
I think Pulisic did an interview the other day. I didn't actually listen to it, but he probably, gave his side of the story, quote unquote. Which, who knows, like, when you listen to him, maybe you will understand where he's coming from. But I still don't agree.
I don't really agree with it either.
Whatever the case may be, like, I don't agree with it. Like, if your country calls you up, go to it.
Go.
Yeah. I think outside of injury, there's nothing that really can justify you, like, not accepting a call-up. I mean, that's what we killed Vela for his whole career, is him always not showing up and not showing up.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's because you knew the quality that he had. So it was like, it was just frustrating because we knew that he could help.
And coming from a veteran U.S. player that, did pretty good with his national team in Landon Donovan, I think his words have some weight. Like for him to say stuff like that is, good. It's good for him to say that. I'm glad so he can put like the passion back into the players.
Yeah,
Tim Howard was going in as well.
Yeah, that's what I was
Clint
gonna say.
Dempsey
It's not
too.
just him. It's sort of like that last
era.
generation, and I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's like personal because this generation gets quoted as like the golden or like the best, or they're sort of downplaying last generation. Which if I were them, I'd probably feel a type of way as well, especially when you see stuff like this. Like these guys, les valía madre. They had to deal with when Mexico was on their asses for years and years and years, and they were still trying to battle it out. And so they had to go through it, and now they see these guys say like, "No, I'm good, thank you." Like, it's like a
Se le sube, dude. Se le sube. That last generation of like the Donovans, the Clint Dempseys, the Tim Howards, I feel like they would look forward more to playing with La Selección than with their own clubs.
Yeah.
And these guys, it's the opposite. No sé si because they're all in Europe, all the good players, so they think they can miss out on meaningless tournaments, right? But I mean, you got to show up, and when you don't, this is what's going to happen, and you got to take it. Like if you're not going to show up, you got to take it at you, because the generation before you was a generation that would show up every fucking game. Didn't matter the situation, they showed up, and there were some times where they would beat Mexico, and that's how it was. And but that. You gotta take it. You're gonna be named the golden generation and all this. You gotta take this shit.
Back it up. Prove it on the field. But no están aquí. So Mexico should be able to handle this tournament with no problems.
But outside of that, though, just chime in real quick. This could possibly be the worst situation I think the U.S. men's national team could be in a year out from hosting. Your World Cup, like having all this drama. The Pochettino thing, hasta ahorita, hasn't done any convincing. It's been horrible. And to be in this situation when you're hosting a year out, it's like you almost were better off with Greg Berhalter at this point.
Exactly. No. See, you're right about that. That's a good point. So Mexico played on Tuesday.
They just swapped teams. They played Turkey.
Yeah. And we ended up with a 1-0 win against them, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Who's Orbelin scored in that game?
Future Chivas legend.
Let's go.
Will we touch on that rumor later in the pod, Eddie?
I mean, I don't have too much other than some Instagram posts, but I think everyone saw those.
Yeah, it's true. So no, Mexico in that game had a different lineup too. Malagón was in goal for this one. Who were the forwards in this game against Turkey?
Sepúlveda and Quiñones.
And they did. I didn't really watch it. Did they do okay?
Well, I feel like Turkey just on the stat line, Turkey was better. But I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, I mean, Mexico got that W. Orlan scored in the 45th. But like Turkey had most of the possession, they had more shots. Only had 3. But again, at the end of the day, whatever you put away, that's what matters, right?
Exactly. Goals are what matter. And then we should touch up on the crazy things. So Mexico is playing at SoFi Stadium tomorrow, right? What have you guys heard about like the outside situation with these guys called Yellow, aka Ice?
Yellow.
What have you guys heard about that? I heard that they might be outside of the stadium tomorrow. Did you guys hear anything about that?
So as far as the supporters go, the PVA, they're not going to be there. They made a decision to not attend it just because some of the members,
Pancho Villa Army, right?
Correct.
Oh, I was about to ask what PVA stands for.
Yeah. But yeah, they put out a statement, a long one, and then also just another porra, nothing to do with the Mexican, but Los de Siempre, which is the Salvadorian supporters.
Ultras.
Those fools put out a statement as well. They're not going to be attending the games either.
Damn.
So, I think it's going to hit somebody's pockets. Y pues ni modo. Like, para que se les quiten,
I heard that they're going to be at the Miami Al Ali game too, also for the FIFA Club World Cup. They're going to be outside the stadium too, man. And it's unfortunate, this time that we're going through right now. It freaking sucks. But any other news you guys have heard about that? Do you know, Eddie, if they're going to be at the Club World Cup?
I mean, I'm sure there's so many different teams from all over the world coming to the U.S. for this tournament. So you already know that there's going to be people of all, backgrounds and nationalities that are going to be there. And yeah, it's unfortunate we're living in some crazy times. It's sad to see everything that's happening, innocent people. But
we support our raza, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're in it ourselves, right? We can say maybe some of us are living in a little bit of fear for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, just for our people in general. And it's not just including Mexicans. This is all people, all walks of life, immigrants. So yeah, man, it's unfortunate. And I think we're going to see the result of this in both these tournaments, the Gold Cup and the Club World Cup. Aside from the costs of the tickets, I think these times that we're living in currently are going to scare a lot of people away.
Yeah, for sure. I think attendance is going to be low, and Mexico playing at SoFi, that's almost filled to the brim. Don't be surprised if it's not filled to the brim.
And I hope it's not. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I love football, but this is fucking real life, man. And people, that's their, their families, their well-being, and
their future, everything. So it just leads us into our next segment. The FIFA Club World Cup starts this weekend. First game is going to be Miami versus Al Ahly on Saturday, and I think that's the only game on Saturday. Then on Sunday is when a lot more games. Sounders play on Sunday versus Botafogo. You going to that game, Eddie?
Yes, allegedly I'll be there.
¿Cómo?
No, yeah, for sure. I'll be there. It's
regardless
of the situation, I'm excited for this as a distraction, I guess. Hopefully it doesn't turn into anything along with all these other games, but yeah, I'll be there. I'm excited.
What were you saying, Gabby?
I said I literally spaced out, and I didn't realize that the Gold Cup starts tomorrow and the Club FIFA.
Yep,
Club
both.
Yeah, they're gonna be going on
for a second. I was like, wait, what are they talking about?
Yep.
Gold Cup and FIFA Club World Cup. But it's only one game for the FIFA Club World Cup, the Miami versus Al Ahly. That's the only game on Saturday. Whereas in the Gold Cup, I think Mexico's group is playing on Saturday.
Yeah, but at the same time, on Sunday, 12 p.m., Atletico versus PSG at the Rose Bowl.
That's going to be a good game.
I'm saying, all these games that they probably thought, I don't know. I mean, there'll probably be a decent crowd still, but maybe not what they thought it would be.
Yeah, well, especially at the Rose Bowl.
Even if this, obviously the population in LA is a large Hispanic population, even those people would have gone to those games to see those teams.
Big teams.
Yeah.
And they're not, no one's going to put their life at risk to go watch PSG and Atletico. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate because even you're seeing stories of people that are citizens even getting, picked up in a sense. It's like anyone is a target right now if your color is brown, which is fucked up, man.
It is, but just be safe out there, people. Everyone that listens to us, just be smart. Also, right now, you got to be super smart. Don't drink and drive. Don't do anything stupid, please. So we just got to spread the word. Other big games that I'm looking forward to are LAFC and Chelsea on Monday, Gabby.
Yeah.
Any news? Tell us about the new player that they just got.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but we got him from America. What is his name?
Jabairo
Del Rolson. But all it is a Cengiz Under replacement for the tournament, because they only got him until July 25th, because Cengiz Under's loan is over. If they wanted to buy him, it was going to cost $25 million, which he's not worth. But all it is a debt piece for the Club World Cup.
Yeah. That's crazy though that the team, the Americanista, is playing with the team that he just lost to.
Yeah.
And tell us also about how LAFC is not playing at their stadium. Which stadiums are they playing at?
They're gonna play in Atlanta, Nashville, and Orlando. But that's just how it was set up. Like, I think those were the places where Leon was gonna go play, so they weren't gonna change anything last minute.
It was all already set up. Tickets were sold. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Just grateful to be in the tournament, and that's it.
I like it. Eric, any games you know coming up that you're gonna be interested in watching?
I mean, honestly, all of them, as long as it involves like Sounders or LAFC, like, you know, obviously the big ones. But I think most games this coming week are gonna be like they're all gonna be like good to watch. You know,
I think
on Tuesday you got Monterrey, Inter. On
Yeah,
that same
that's a good
Monday
one.
with LAFC, Chelsea, you got Boca versus Benfica. That should be a good one.
Good game.
Wednesday, Real
Wednesday's
versus
huge.
Al Hilal, Pachuca versus Salzburg. Like they're all games that you'd want to watch, like just to see how our teams match up against these European teams.
Wednesday's gonna be a huge
one.
day.
Thursday's a huge one too. Seattle Atletico. That's like it's fucking huge.
We're gonna see Griezmann up here in Seattle, and El Cholo Simeone, right?
Yep.
And then I saw Real Madrid Al Hilal on Wednesday. City plays on Wednesday. Juventus plays on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursdays are going to be some good days to watch some soccer. Those days for sure.
It's going to be interesting to see, like we touched on a little bit on like some of these bigger teams, like their lineups. See, I guess, how serious they're going to take it, quote unquote. And yeah, either way, golden opportunity for a lot of these teams to try to have a go at some of the bigger clubs in the world. I'm excited.
Who does River play in Seattle?
It's like the Red Diamonds. They're a Japanese team.
Oh.
And I
thought Red Diamonds.
I thought River played Inter Milan in Seattle too. I just don't know what day that is, but I thought I saw Inter versus River.
That's their first game.
Oh.
And then
because the news about that player, Gabby, if you haven't heard, on River is official.
Yeah, it's official.
Yeah, the following Wednesday is the Inter River Plate game.
Oh.
That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one to go to. So, yeah, that, FIFA Club World Cup starting this weekend along with the Gold Cup. So we'll have a good amount of games that we can watch over here at Los Fantasy Cuz and all the other compa cuz that are, going to be pay attention. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we move on?
No, by the time we do the next recording, there'll already be a couple games played. Like the Sounders play on Thursday as well, so we'll see. We'll see what my mood is by then.
That's true. And then we'll touch on next episode too, the results, and if we see any big news or good games that come up, will be next episode. That's going to be a good segment. But let's move on. Let's move on into some NBA that just is going on right now. The NBA Finals, Pacers versus OKC. And today, the game just finished today. And freaking OKC won today. So ties the series up now. 2.
Damn, that's a good series.
I don't know about you guys, but I hate OKC. But they look good. They play good. I did touch on this a few pods ago. They are the youngest team right now. If they were to win the championship, they would be the youngest team to win a championship in NBA history, because the youngest team to do it was Golden State back in like 2016. And this OKC team is younger than that team.
Damn.
So that's an interesting stat. If that were to happen, I hope it doesn't happen. I want the Pacers to win. Have you guys watched any of the games so far?
I have not.
No, I'm just paying attention to the scores, but each team has a win away. Like
that's huge.
They won in Indiana today, right? And they're going back to Oklahoma on Monday. So we'll see how that goes. This could be a game changer for OKC, obviously, with that win tonight.
With the win tonight, and then if they win in OKC, they could be up 3-2. But I have an interesting stat. The Pacers' main player, Halliburton, every time he scores more than 20 points, their win percentage is really good. I don't remember what it was. It was probably like 86% every time he scores more than 20 points. And today's game backs that stat up because today he only scored 18 points and they lost. The game that happened a few days ago, he scored 22 points and they won. It's that stat is just showing that he's crucial to the Pacers, where he needs to be playing, he lights out every single game so he can give his team the best chances to win. He needs to beat OKC's best player too, which is SGA. Today he had 35 points. And I don't know about you guys, dude, but every time I watch this kid play, dude, he does give me glimpses of Kobe Bryant.
That's crazy.
And I know Rob will disagree, but this kid, dude, this kid is good. SGA, he's the one that literally puts the team on their back. Like Eddie said, Game 5 on Monday.
Rob doesn't like.
We'll see. No, Rob doesn't like to compare SGA to Kobe, I think.
Oh, well, I wouldn't either. But he's good.
I think, like I was telling Rob, I think there was an interview that SGA did where he says that Kobe Bryant, his idol, his inspiration.
Yeah.
He wants to play just like him. And to me, when I watch him on TV, I could kind of see it.
Well, if he wants to start playing like Kobe, the one thing he should take from Kobe is that Kobe didn't fucking flop all the time.
Yeah, he does flop a lot. You're right about that.
On fucking huevos, and this fool, every time he fucking dribbles inside the fucking box, he just fucking falling like every single time.
It's a new generation of players, man.
Oh,
it's crazy.
In every sport.
In every single
Literally,
sport, it's
Kobe
getting
would
worse
be
and
fucking
worse.
Disappointed as fuck seeing that shit, and then being like, "That fool's trying to play like me." The fuck.
Yeah. But he's their best player, though, Eric. Even still, he flops and does all that nonsense. He's still their best player.
No, for sure, he is. But
they haven't won since Gabby said like 19. What, Gabby? Do you remember? 1978.
Something like that. 78, 79.
That's crazy, dude. So it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see a city like Indianapolis win. Compared to like if a New York team was to win, there'd be riots over there. Over here would be like peaceful celebrations.
Nah, they're so crazy after that long.
No, it's because the New Yorkers are a different breed.
So the Sonics won a championship, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I want to say 1970.
Also 78 or 76. Yeah, 78,
like
76. They lost in 96 to the Bulls.
No, OKC doesn't recognize that, right?
Actually, I don't know if they do, but
the analyst on ESPN, I saw they were trying to. They compared OKC to Gary Payton when Gary Payton had like some stats in that 96 finals. But I haven't seen him say anything about like, putting Seattle's championships on OKC's history. I haven't seen that. Which they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
That'd be fucking dumb.
Yeah, I think we touched on this last time, but if I'm OKC, like, why would I want to, like, I would want the opposite, right? I would want my own history.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, we're almost to the 20-year mark. Like, by now they technically have some history, even though they haven't won shit, but...
Do the Lakers use their old championship when they used to play in Minneapolis?
Well, it's different because they've always been the Lakers.
But they were the Minneapolis Lakers.
So is that kind of like the caveat? Like if OKC would have been the OKC Sonics, then maybe they'd keep their accolades, I guess?
Probably.
Maybe.
Because the Rams, when they moved back to LA from St. Louis, because didn't Kurt Warner win a few there?
Yeah, win.
In St. Louis?
I think he did, yeah. He did win one. He won one.
The Raiders show on turf or some shit?
Yeah,
like, do the LA Rams claim that one then?
That's a good question. If Rob was here, we could ask him.
The Raiders still claim their LA Raiders Super Bowl win and their Oakland Raiders Super Bowl win.
I think it's different because they stayed in state. But like, if you're going from like state to state, then I think that's what's confusing.
And it's copyrighted too. They would, if they were called OKC Sonics, they would have had to buy the rights from the Sonics.
And didn't they leave all the shit in the Sonic Stadium, like banners and all that? Like they didn't like
That's true.
move it over.
Eddie, do you know that?
Yeah, the rights for the Sonics are still here. That's the only one good thing he did. So we're ready. We're ready for our team and fuck
Hell
OKC.
yeah. Once the new Sonics jersey comes out, dude, I'm gonna buy it so fast. I can't wait.
Got
But
some
yeah.
good memories.
But yeah, NBA, we'll keep touch on it too. The next game is on Monday, so on the next pod we'll touch up on it again and see who comes out on top on that game.
It
It's
could
good.
be over by then.
You're right. It could be.
We'll see. We'll see.
So let's move on to our next segment, which this one we'll just touch up on a little bit because our compa Rob is not here again. Little MLB update. Our Mariners have dropped to second in the AL West with a record of 33-34. The freaking Astros are in first place with a record of 39-30. So that means Seattle is about 5 games behind right now. Their offense hasn't been hitting too good. Eddie, have you watched anything, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean it's been a sad reality back to what we're used to. We still got time to turn it around, but I don't know how they're gonna do it. The offense, it's crazy how they go from like one of the hottest offense to one of the worst.
Exactly.
Within weeks.
And if they don't start winning games, and the Astros actually are on a good streak right now too, and that's why they're up in first place, and that's why they pulled 5 games ahead. If the Mariners don't start winning games and let the Astros pull away, it's going to be super tough. So they got to start winning now. Gabby's Doyers and Rob's Doyers are in first place with 41-28 record. But right behind the Dodgers, dude, is the San Francisco Giants, dude. They were at 40-29 losses. So
we have this. Well, we just lost to them today, but so we're tied.
Damn. All season, dude, the Giants have been kind of surprising.
But that's crazy because the NOS is like super tight because the Giants and the Dodgers are tied, and then the Madres are 2 games back, and then the Diamondbacks are 5 games back.
So not too far. So
it's like those 4 teams are gonna probably towards the end of the season are gonna be battling it out
big time. And in that same division is Eric's Colorado Rockies.
I was about to say, you're not gonna mention the other team, Gabby. You're just gonna mention the Madres and
the Giants.
The Giants.
Whoa. The Rockies are 27 games back. I don't think they're gonna do anything.
No.
Just a quick update: the Rockies are 13-56. So
that's what I was gonna say.
Rockies.
They beat the Giants yesterday.
The Rockies. Cabrón.
You never know.
It's all good. It's just they were unlucky to be in the hardest division in baseball.
Who owns the Rockies, Eric?
These dumbasses that their last names are like Mumford or some shit. They're like brothers. Pero ni los dos no se hacen uno, los güeyes.
No meten las manos los güeyes?
Nada. Dude, recently so many players have been talking shit about them. Like, what's the guy who went to the Cardinals? That's the way.
Arenado?
Hey, he was saying that like the reason he left was because of them, and that he doesn't want to speak on the organization right now and some shit. And then Troy Tulowitzki from that was from a long ass time ago. They tried to ask him a question, and he just declined to even talk about them. He's like, as long as Mumfords are there, he's like, I won't comment on the Rockies.
Damn, that sucks because
they bought them in 1992.
And that sucks because good players like Nolan Arenado are not going to want to be there. So that just means they're going to be suffering.
It sucks
for a
too
while.
Because like honestly, like Coors Field and like everything around it's a pretty good like setup, like stadium. Like it's a like I guess in MLB, it's one of those places that like you should probably go and see, like the park and everything. But like in the city, when the Rockies are good, outside the Broncos, it's Broncos Rockies, but only when the Rockies are good. So it's like when the few years we were competitive from, I think when I barely moved here, I think it was when the last years where the Rockies were competitive. Like it was like Rockies at some point were the most followed team than Denver at some point. Like the Rockies run deep here, so it's like
More than the Nuggets is crazy.
yeah, dude.
That is crazy.
Pero,
Because it's America's pastime.
They're in the same situation como pinche Mauri. Pinches dueños.
And like I said, they're in like the toughest division in baseball.
Yeah, apart from that, they're like literally, what is it? Probably the best division in baseball outside of Colorado.
Yeah, exactly.
Like those are what easily they could all be all playoff teams besides Colorado.
For sure.
Pero.
Yep. But to wrap this segment up, both New York teams are still doing really good. The Yankees and the Mets. I think the Yankees are probably ranked number 1. I think the Mets are ranked number 2 right now overall. 2 good, really freaking good squads. Good players right now that are playing really good. The surprising team that I saw this week that dropped were the Phillies. The Phillies were last week when me and Rob were talking about them. They were like ranked 2nd or 3rd, and they dropped all the way down to 6th. So they're kind of like the Mariners right now, where they're on a bad streak. So they dropped down to like 6th place right now. The Cubs stay in 5th, and por Detroit Machingan, they're also like in 1st right now.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh cooled down the last couple of days. He was still the leader, but today Allaire and Judge hit another bomb, and they're tied at 26 each.
That's crazy, dude. A catcher.
Shohei Ohtani in 3rd right now with 23, still in the fight. And we'll see. One-man showdown here, but even he's cooled down, so sad to see, man.
But there's still hope. Like you said, there's still time.
Hey, Gabby, I saw some shit saying that supposedly they're preparing Ohtani to start pitching. So, like, are they preparing him just to move from hitting to pitching, or for him to start doing both now?
Well, he's always done, when he pitches, he's done both. But the Dodgers pitching is so shitty right now that it's like they're almost like, fuck, we need another pitcher, and well, he'd probably be the other pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy, like all these pitching signings they did. I don't know what it's been with the Dodgers the last couple of years. Like, I don't know if it's just them or everybody, but God, like so many dudes get hurt like throughout the season, and it's not like a couple guys. It's last year was like 6-7 dudes.
That's why the bullpen and the rotation, whatever, has to be deep. That's why they have so many. Every single team has so many pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason.
But don't be surprised if we see him pitch this.
Which would be cool. It would be cool to see.
That would be cool because like he's so fucking good, you almost forget that he's a pitcher.
Exactly.
And not only that, he's a good pitcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
So, yep, let's wrap it up on MLB. Well, like I said, when Rob comes back, Rob is our main source too, because he has so much knowledge on this sport. We just touched up on it a little bit, but when Rob comes back, we'll dive deeper next time. So, let's move on to a big segment right now that all of us are probably going to be following up until, come August when all the big leagues in Europe start again. I'm talking about transfer rumors. What are some big transfer rumors that you guys know of? I have a few, so I'm going to let you guys go first.
Well, I'll go first. Real Madrid signed 17-year-old Argentinian wonder kid Mastantuono
from River Plate.
He'll join Real after the Club World Cup, so he's gonna play with River Plate for the Club World Cup. But yeah,
that's huge.
It's kind of weird though. Like I think it's so weird when an Argentinian goes and signs with Real Madrid. It's like I feel like I don't remember
Barcelona.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time an Argentinian was in Madrid. It's probably like Di Maria.
Yeah.
Higuaín.
El
pendejo de Gago.
Gago.
Yeah, that's years.
That was way back, yeah.
I wish Rob was here because according to his way of life, you can't support him. Sorry.
Hey, that's true. That's a hot topic. You guys, are you going to support him or not?
Yeah, he's wearing the jersey.
Even though he's Argentinian?
It's about the club, not about the player.
Oh, save this for next time he's on, Fabian.
According to Rob, I shouldn't be drinking this.
That's right. No, it is. It is something that I'll bring up to Rob to see what he thinks. Because I'm on the same boat with Gabby. That even though he's Argentinian, as long as he performs at Real Madrid and, does good, then fuck it. We'll kind of forget that he's Argentinian.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got such a fucking talent, and like I love seeing like these kind of young players that like explode off the scene like that. Like it's so young. The only thing I hope it doesn't happen, and I don't think it will because the talent speaks for itself. But the jump from like a River to not just Madrid, it could have been to Barca to fucking no sé
Bayern Munich.
A jump that quick, and then for them to expect him to, because I don't know if Xabi Alonso has plans for him to break into the squad already, which you probably want to plan for that, but it's a huge jump at such a young age from two different entirely leagues. You're going from Boca to the most iconic club of all time. So that's such a young age. So it's like I just hope that they give him time to develop and they don't ruin that. Not ruin, but like the talent doesn't get it just doesn't get too bright for him. Because I love the way he fucking plays. I love it.
So you're kind of thinking like how Real Madrid is treating Endrick right now too.
I mean, I guess you could. I don't think Endrick. I think Masantuano's miles better than fucking Endrick.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's different from like let's just say Lamine. He was produced in Barca, so he knows the way, he knows the league, he knows, so the transition is a lot smoother from playing, La Liga Argentina, which it's a 2-team league at the end of the day, and obviously the levels aren't the same with the Spanish league. So It's just that jump at such a young age, and if they expect him to kind of break into the team already, that's where it's like, we'll see how he handles that, Because he's barely breaking into the national team. Like, he's only playing 10, 15 minutes. So, But like I said, I don't think Real Madrid will, because Real Madrid, they're the best. They're one of the best clubs. So their job is to put the best players on the field. So I think they'll do a good job. I just hope it just doesn't happen like Hendrik.
Yeah. They'll ease him into the midfield.
Yeah. That's the thing. What does he play, though? Because I've seen him play at 10. I've seen him play right wing. I've seen him play, like, he can play, like, a lot of different positions, but I don't know what his best one is.
Well, we'll find out. I thought his best position was playing as a 10, but we'll find out more. We'll look into it.
Right wing and then attacking mid.
Yeah. And it also depends on the system that, I guess, Xabi Alonso is going to use. If he uses those, like, two inverted, because I think he would use Wirtz and some other guy, like, right behind the forward, but, like, not as wingers. They're kind of inverted. Because he has the wing backs going. That would be a good spot for Masantuano.
Especially because Trent and Alexander-Arnold, too, will be fucking pushing up a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Well, his new name is Trent now.
Oh, that's right. That's the name he chose to be on the back of his jersey. That's right.
Dude, imagine having 3 first names as your whole name.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Well, that's Eduardo Gabriel Morales. And we got Gabriel Arias. Wait, Eric, are you Gabriel as a middle name too?
No.
Oh man, I was about to say all of us have Gabriel in our name, but
no, I'm
it's
Alejandro.
Eric Alejandro. He's a singer, he's an actor. But no, Gabby, Eddie, and me have Gabriel in our names.
And Carlos.
Oh, that's right. But maybe one day we can get Cermeño on the pod.
Damn, this guy's exposing my whole life.
I always wondered what the Eddie G would stand for, and I didn't know what the G was. Now I know.
Bro.
Eddie G. Farrell.
This guy.
Nah, but let's keep going on the rumors, Eddie. Any rumors that you've heard from any teams? Any big ones?
Yeah, for Barca, they're a surprising one that I saw the last couple of days is Nico Williams. I had seen at first que no, and in the last couple of days something changed. Either Deco or Nico, someone's attitude or wants changed, and it sounds like they're maybe working on something. But the only other one is the goalkeeper from Espanyol. I think that one's sort of said and done. It's just not official yet.
What about Luis Diaz?
That's been around también, but I don't know, at this point you would think that maybe something would have happened, but his price is obviously a lot more than any
Nico.
of these other players. Yeah. Plus with that fucking golazo that he scored the other day on Argentina.
He would help Barca so much, dude, if he ends up getting with them.
It's almost crazy though, because like, how do you fit him? Because I feel like they're full of wingers.
Yeah.
Like, who do you take out of Rafinha, Yamal, and then how do you start from those three? Because you got your forwards and your midfield to sit. Like, someone's got to be the sacrificed to the bench.
Yeah. I mean, with so many competitions over there, they would get used. But yeah, you obviously want to be the starter no matter what. And yeah, that's a good tough decision for a team to have. But
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, because even Nico, like if it happens, like it's the same thing. He's another winger coming in.
Yeah. So we'll see if in the next couple of days something happens. But that's all I've really seen as of.
Do you know if Chesney got re-signed, or is he not getting re-signing? Is that why they picked up the goalie from Espanyol?
Yeah, that's the rumor, that he's gonna come back for another year, and it sounds like they were maybe trying to see if Ter Stegen would like finally step aside, but he still has another year in his contract, I believe. So who knows? We might end up with 3. I don't know how, but something's gonna have to give.
That's crazy.
Hey, I'll take him if you guys don't want him.
You want him?
Hell yeah.
To Manchester or where?
See?
Well, tell us.
Your Sunday team.
Oh, that's right. Well, tell us about Man United. Have they been talking to any? Because last time I think we said it was Emi Martinez and we're in talks.
There's still rumors saying they're interested. The only official one so far has been Cunha.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of back and forth on Embuemo. And then recently, like, there's been a lot of talk of, like, there's been a little bit of drama with the Gyökeres and Sporting directors. A little he said, she said shit going on. So we'll see. I mean, if we land him, that'd be fucking amazing. Because I would think the last place he wants to go to is Man U right now.
Yeah, but I saw that Gyökeres was under Ruben Amorim, played with him for him, didn't he? So that would kind of be a pull right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sporting's supposedly the directors came out and said that they're not going to ask for 100 mil, even though that's his release clause. But I mean, Man U got rejected at 60 plus 10 in add-ons, and then Arsenal today got rejected at 70 plus, I think, 10 in add-ons too. So, I mean, you're already at 80, but they stated that they'll sell him less than 100. So it's like, the fuck do you want, 99 or what the fuck?
So if they don't go for Gyökeres, didn't you see, Eric, too, that Højlund might be going to Inter?
I've heard that too, but I've also seen through United like outlets that like he wants to stay and still fight for his position. So I think it just depends. Like, he might end up being the freaking guy, because if we don't get another striker, like, you can't get rid of him.
Yeah, exactly, because that'd be dumb to do that. But now I saw today, Eric, too, that Man United might be trying to do some talks with Osimhen.
Yeah, Osimhen's there too. They're just saying he's asking for a lot in the salary, so they want him to bring it down. But I think he's the last option, because I think they are going to try to push for Gyökeres. Pero no sé.
This is right there, because we also a few weeks ago too, Liam Delap from Ipswich also was in conversations with Man United, but I think it's now official that he's going to Chelsea.
Yeah, no, he already was announced and all that. So.
Damn it, that would have been a good one too for Man United.
This topic is I think gonna get announced after the World Cup. The club for Milan. So that'll be kind of cool to see him there.
Well, do you know why? Also, because City just bought Rangers from AC Milan, so that left an open spot right there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Rangers is the place for Holland, but he was doing good with AC Milan. I felt like when he would play with Santi, like they did good, and now City got him. You know who else City got? Yeah. Cherki from that. You guys see that France goal where he chested it and just first timed it?
Chulada de gol.
Freaking golazo. So City again, like, got a good player right there. And City also got this one guy named
Ait
Nuri from Wolves.
Back for Wolves, yeah.
So they're reinforcing a little bit too.
Yeah. De Bruyne to Napoli was official too.
Damn, dude. And you know who else wants to go to Napoli or they're in talks with?
Garnacho?
Darwin Nunez.
I saw that or allá para los Saudis, no?
Yeah. But I think Atletico Madrid also wanted Darwin Nunez too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's up to him to decide where he wants to go.
We'll see.
So yeah,
Movements.
there's a lot of movements right there. And
Oh, I got another one. The Broncos signed J.K. Dobbins.
eh.
Transfer news. Is this not transfer news? Is this not transfer news? Are we not talking about signings, new signings?
Nah, but why that one, right, Gabby?
It's a huge one.
Man,
What do you call it?
Fantasy? It is.
Well, that's what this podcast is called, Los Fantasy Cuz. No, that's a good one. I'm gonna try to steal all the running backs from Denver so Eric doesn't get them.
That's coming back soon. We're almost to the time again.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to smell like fantasy.
We got it. When are you gonna do your punishment, Eric?
Hey, let's go to the next segment. What's the next segment? What's some
Okay,
Chivas news or what?
We'll keep tabs on it, but that does lead us perfectly into, because we're on transfer rumors. Some transfer rumors from Chivas, dude. There's a few, like El Pocho, and who else did I see? Eddie, back me up on that one. Who else did you see rumors on?
That in and out or out.
All of it.
Well, I think since the last time we were here, they signed Richie Ledesma from PSV.
Oh yeah.
It's official, and that just makes it the second refuerzo so far. But there's a lot more people that have left. El Pocho Guzman is on a loan back to Pachuca. He was back there so fast. He made it back to Pachuca on the despedida before they went to the Club World Cup, and I think he's gonna travel with them. So
Jesus.
he was literally at the preseason with Chivas, and then out of nowhere, boom.
Bro, that's crazy because I feel like a few days ago I literally saw a video of him on the Chivas Instagram.
Yeah, he was. So it just like that. So now he's back with his old club, which is cool to see, because supposedly the reason why he left was because he's been having some like personal problems or issues in Guadalajara, and that's why he sort of had his inconsistencies and ups and downs. And
Yep.
I think it was in his best interest to go back to Club Pachuca, and that includes like Chivas recognizing that, even because they're basically gonna lose like half of what they paid for him.
Fuck, man.
If they were to buy him. So,
Honestly, like with all these guys that have been leaving Chivas, I kind of like the way Pocho has kind of dealt with his whole situation, because I don't think I've heard him at one point tirarle al club o la directiva. And even when he's left, because it's not the first time that, when that whole first time it happened, que lo agarramos and they had to go back, like he's kind of taken all the shit, and I think he kind of knows too that he hasn't lived up to his potential, but like he's never attacked the club. And like there's some of these guys who have left, and literally on their first interview, le empiezan a tirar al club de algo.
And
Whether it's true or not, it just doesn't look good. And Pocho, hasta la fecha, he's always kind of maintained that respect. So you got to give him props for that too.
For sure. Who else is left? El Nene, is he official at León?
yeah, that's official.
What
I
about the
think
Mozo Leon thing?
That's the one I was thinking
That's a
about.
rumor.
That's still a rumor. They loaned out Luis Rey, I think, to Puebla, the defender.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just a loan, no buy option. So hopefully he gets some playing time and we can get him back. I mean, they're still looking supposedly for a center back. I mean, they're even looking for a forward. We'll see what comes out of it. I mean, I don't know what options they're looking at exactly, but we're getting close here, man. So
I mean, I saw something today about Campillo. Probably se va a hacer también, no? Or they're trying to get it done or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like that started ramping up again. I don't know what changed. Hopefully the price, because they were asking for a lot.
Yeah. And then Brian Gonzalez, I think they're just waiting after the FIFA World Club to announce him.
Yeah, basically.
Especially after the Pocho move.
Yep.
It's got to be part of the deal.
Yeah, the other day in an interview, I think it was Gallardo, he accidentally said something like, oh, yeah, el cotorro que se fue a las Chivas. So I think it's in the works. It's just not official. So
hopefully the way Gallardo announced it and it's in the works, está igual de lo de Romo with Orbelín, porque no más.
That's right. That message he sent, what was it, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever?
Yeah, on Instagram.
And he was like, ya vente. Right?
Orbelán.
Orbelán, he said Orbelán.
This is not a Chivas transfer, but bitch ass Gago's official to Necaxa.
That's right.
Yeah, and I had it on here too. I had it as not really Chivas news, but this bitch.
No, it is. It's because when we play Necaxa, we're all going to be paying attention to that game.
Keep an eye on September 23rd, 2025, 6 p.m. Estadio Akron.
Yep. It's going to be fucking like darts at his ass.
Hey, someone needs to send a warning to whatever hotel they're going to stay at. Porque ese güey se va a llevar the air conditioners, eh?
Bro, the guy was gone for game. He was only gone for 10 months.
And he came back.
And he's still claiming that the day he left Chivas, he received a call from Boca Juniors on a Tuesday, and Wednesday he let the club know that he's terminating his contract.
I'm going to watch that first interview with Necaxa because people are going to ask him.
Yeah.
And I want to see what he has to say because, bro, you're a liar. You're a fucking straight liar. It's insane.
Yeah, like how did the rumors start? Like at least a week before.
Yeah.
And he's claiming that it happened within a day. Okay.
Well, when the rumor was going on, he denied everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, I'm here, and then boom, I'm out. Like,
well, not even that. The players were saying that, like, as those rumors came out, he told them directly, like, it's not true. So, like, who the fuck are you going to believe? The whole fucking squad or this fucking guy?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up the interview because I think there was a guy that was asking him about, like, what happened when he left with the whole house situation and all that, and he just, like, skirted around the question.
And for the Mexican League and Necaxa to, like, take him back like that, like, that's so
scandalous.
Pathetic. Like,
it's super pathetic.
Aren't the owners of Necaxa, like, they're not from Mexico, right?
Well, Eva Longoria?
No, but like the actual, like the chair, like the actual, like Eva Longoria's got like a porcentaje. But like I think the main group of ownership, I don't even think they're from there. So it's like you almost want to think like maybe they didn't even know like the whole drama that went down. But like, they should know.
They gotta know.
They should know. They have meetings regularly, and there's literally been talks of like, hey, let's try to make the league better in the sense of like protecting it with, not bringing guys like him back that have done teams dirty. And what's the first thing they go do? They bring him back. And it's just wild to me how like you see what he did and oh no, he's not going to do the same to us.
Elias was going hard on him, like, and he was going hard on Necaxa. Like, how are you going to bring him back? Wait, so do you remember El Pacto de Caballeros?
Yeah.
What exactly did that mean? Because he was saying that should be a thing again so that this doesn't happen.
Se me hace que that was cuando congelaban a los jugadores. So, if si salía mal en un club, pues se ponían de acuerdo that another team wouldn't sign them, I think, for a certain amount of months. So los congelaban.
It was almost like they had the rights of that player, so if they wanted to sign him back, they had to like work out a deal with the last team.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned into a hot mess, honestly. That's why a lot of people thought it was like they should get rid of it, and I think they basically did, in a way. So
because I haven't heard too much about that either.
And I don't know if that related to the coaches, but maybe it's not a bad idea.
Well, that's what Peláez was saying. They're like, they should bring that back in El Pacto de Caballeros, maybe in the coaching realm, because that's some scandalous shit.
Yeah, it really is.
Que le avienten piedras when they play against Chivas.
Dude, no sé si se ve más pendejo with like the Chivas thing or him coming back after he got fired to Necaxa. Like, no sé en cuál momento se ve más pendejo.
Well, he looks like an idiot for coming back.
Yeah.
He's just here to take money.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what else he comes out of his mouth in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh, those interviews following up to the Chivas game are going to be good.
Hell yeah.
Bro, I just can't wait to see like how Chivas fans are gonna react just seeing him. Like, dude, they should make a fucking tifo of like a fucking dollar sign and air conditioning and all a bunch of other shit, like a big ass fucking tifo.
A big tifo of an air conditioner.
Yeah.
Eddie could probably come up with it on the chat GPT.
Now we're talking about I'll come up with it by hand. You haven't seen my work or what?
Yeah, that too.
Like they get in contact with whoever's in charge of the tifo games over there, like the tifos in Guadalajara. They gotta plan something big for that shit.
He's not worthy of it.
Well, I don't think they let tifos in during the Mexican League.
Oh, really?
No, they do. They just got to get special permission. But yeah, no.
The longest time they
tifos are dedicated to your club, not to
talk shit
like him.
Well, they should leave an air conditioning in the visitors' locker room there just for him.
No, they should turn it off.
Or turn it off. Eh?
Yeah, turn it off, exactly.
Te lo robaste, pendejo.
Exactly.
Hey, they should just put one of those spinning fans.
They should hand out personal fans that go around the neck for the fans like each game, and they just wave up the little fans during the game. Oh wait, I had a question. I don't know if you guys know more about it, but what happened with Jose Castillo's loan?
Oh, Milito supposedly called him to come back since the whole Jimmy Lozano came in. He wasn't really utilizing him, so Castillo was sort of like, he could tell that the vibes weren't vibing. So the whole thing was like, Milito's cell was like, hey, you're going to go to the Club World Cup and not play when you could be over here and we need you and I want to see you and, competition and whatnot. And I think they probably had a conversation. I'm not sure exactly if they did, like with Lozano or at least with Pachuca, obviously. And yeah, they agreed that it was probably best that he just come back, which honestly,
that's good, honestly.
Yeah,
I think that's good too.
If he's not gonna play, why stay there? Why go for the trip? Just come back to your team, fight for your spot.
I was reading that the only reason why he won because Almada was the one that requested him.
Yeah, because he had him
before he. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the original.
And then he's the one that wanted him, lo quería, and then llegó el otro way, and then the otro way was like, well, I don't want this folk. So
yeah, exactly.
But whatever, it benefits us. I mean, it sucks for him, but I mean, that's kind of cool to hear that Milito wanted him back and the competition is that because we need that,
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you guys know, but Chivas had a friendly today. They tied 2-2 versus Tapatio.
No, they ended up winning 3-2.
Oh, they won it?
Yeah, it's because they sort of did it like it was 3 halves so that everyone can play.
Mm.
Do we know any goal scorers?
Yeah, Pulido scored the first one.
And then Miguel Gomez.
Yep.
And then I don't know who scored the other one.
And isn't Tapatio the champions of the Ascenso?
Some kid named Aguayo. Yeah, they just won the Campeón de Campeones versus Leones Negros last weekend, so
that's cool.
They've been getting some silverware in the last year. And had some good seasons, obviously. So it's good to see. I mean, that's
good competition.
That's our players coming up that they could possibly pull up to the first team. So we'll take that.
Especially right now when we need good players.
What are your guys' thoughts on Puma's possible last jersey?
You mean the Pumas logo?
Huh?
You mean the Pumas logo, not the Pumas team?
No, I'm talking about the new jersey that came out.
Yeah. That we have with Pumas. With Puma, not Pumas.
Puma, yeah. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says. It's just all the patrocinadores make it look a little crazy.
Yeah, like the Amazon one made it to the jersey now.
Oh, cabrón.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
There's Amazon Prime like right here.
Oh my, wow.
Yeah, I just didn't like that they moved the escudo from the center to the right to put a fucking sponsor there.
The MG I think is in the middle.
I don't know. I think Puma had us at such a high level of expectation because every jersey they were dropping was fucking pretty solid, and this one kind of just decepcional a little bit.
It kind of makes you think that Pumas know that this was going to be Chivas' last jersey before they go to Nike, so they were probably like, whatever.
Well, they didn't. I feel like from the last jersey, they didn't really do much. They like said, okay, here, take out one of the stripes and make the other ones a little bit wider, and then put some blue stuff right here.
Blue right here.
And put a little bit of blue right here, and put it. And oh, by the way, more sponsors, and then that was it. Like,
Yeah. It's
but it is what
definitely
it is.
giving that Reebok vibe from that jersey from like what 2011 or 12.
Yeah.
I have that jersey.
But
We'll see how it looks on the field. You know, maybe when we're watching them on TV, we might be able to get used to it. But from my first reactions, I'm like, nah.
It's like
that's
a
what
way.
happens though. Like when you see, I mean, at least for me, when I see a lot of new jerseys, the first thing is like, oh, I don't know about this. But then once you see it on the players, once you see it in person, sometimes it starts growing on you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for it to get started again. As much as we've talked about and everything, like I can't wait till Chivas fucking play again.
Play and do good, bro. We gotta make playoffs this next season.
Yeah. If you guys didn't see the video that the Chivas account posted today of them walking around Guadalajara and they found this kid, his name is Hernan, and he offered to give him a free jersey, and the kid right away, like, he's like, oh, are you serious? And then as soon as he's handed it to him, bro, the kid started crying.
Yeah.
And like you could tell like the excitement, bro. It literally, when I was watching it, it hit me, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it hit me.
Eddie was like, I was that little kid.
For real, bro. Like you could tell this kid is locked in with the team and he cares, and just the simple gift, like it warmed my heart, bro. And I was like, man, this is what Chivas is all about.
Yeah.
I just hope that video can get to the players and to La Directiva so they can just see like it's not just the older generation that's still there. Like there's a younger generation coming up that still has the same, aspirations that we all do as the ones we've been following them along for so long. Like there's still that young generation that feels what we feel. So they're still playing for a whole new generation that's coming up.
Exactly. It's not just aspiration, it's called passion too, Eric.
Yeah.
That's 100% raw passion. And in the video that Eddie's talking about, that kid has it.
Yeah, love for the club, man. Regardless of what the situation is with the team, like he cares just like we do. And obviously our emotions are like a roller coaster on this podcast with the ups and downs, but at the end of the day, we're always going to support the team, and that's what it's all about, man. I mean, they as soon as they posted a picture or the video, I think it went viral, and like a bunch of the Chivas players were asking help to find the kid and his family, and they did end up finding their information, and supposedly Amaury Vergara already talked to the mom, and they got stuff in plans to hook the kid up and like bring him to the team and everything. So that's cool to see.
Meet the players, yeah, that would be awesome. Well, yeah. Anything else before we move on to our last segment, you guys?
No.
All right. Well, next week, I mean, we'll keep touching up on Chivas news and stuff like that. So we got to stay locked in. Listen to us next week. Keep up with us, and we'll keep you guys informed on everything Chivas news and stuff. So this leads us to our last segment of our pod, you guys, our Mount Rushmore. Do you guys remember what the topic of our Mount Rushmore is today?
Sure did.
What was it?
Our top soccer moments. So for your top 4 moments that you remember that happened in soccer that you could be like, man, I will never forget that.
Top 4, top 3, top 5. What's Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore's 4, bro. There's 4 heads on the mountain. So we discussed this last time.
We're back at it.
We discussed this last time, and Rob was confused too, but it's got to be 4. So how should we start this? Let's see. We should go backwards this time. Maybe Eddie go first. Eric go second, Gabby go third, and I'll go last.
No, Eric can go first.
Eric first, Eddie second. I'll go third, and Gabby go last. Ready?
Pass.
Dale. Let's get it going, Eric. What is your number one top soccer moment?
Well, these
that you
aren't
can
in order
remember?
for me, at least. These are just my top 4. They're not. These aren't in order, but I think
Okay.
the first one. Honestly, I'm gonna go with this one just because when this happened, it's pretty close to what's coming up on Sunday. But when Chucky Lozano scored the winning goal against Germany, it was on Father's Day, and Father's Day's coming up
Oh,
Sunday.
no way.
And it was one of those moments where I shed a few tears after that game was over. So that shit's sticking with me forever just because of the moment. And, everyone was there. Me, Abram, my dad, were all watching that shit live. And that was one of the best alegrías to get on a Father's Day.
Hell yeah, dude. What was that, 2018? The
Mm-hmm.
2018 World Cup?
Qatar. No, Russia.
Russia, 2018, Yep. That's a good one, dude. I like that one. We're never going to forget that. The way Chucky cut and then shot at first post against Neuer. Golazo.
Yep.
Perfect. Eddie, let's move on to you, Eddie. What is your number one top soccer moment?
There's so many. So for me, it's hard to rank them as well. But for the first one that I wrote, because I was there, and I always remember because it was a crazy, crazy, crazy game, is October 10th, 2015 at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena in front of 93,000 packed house. It was, I don't know if you guys remember, it was like a one-game final to see who would go to the 2017 Confederations Cup between Mexico and USA.
Yeah.
I was there too, sitting next to him.
And yeah, man, that whole game, bro, because that was when we're still in the middle of it, we're still battling it out with USA. It was a wild environment. There was, I want to say, I don't know, maybe 10K of the US supporters in there.
Yeah.
Versus 10K compared to what?
It was 93,000. So
behind one of the goals, it was literally red, white, and blue, just the whole section, and then everything else was green.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, the whole game
was that the game where Paul Aguilar le pegó de primera
in the air?
Yeah.
Damn, you guys were that?
We were there. Let's go.
Yeah, it was badass because it was Chicharito in the 10th minute, Jeff Cameron in the 15th, and then in the 96th, Oribe Peralta, which by then was already overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby Wood in the 108th minute. So it was looking like it was going to PKs. 118th minute, Paul Aguilar got one of those. I think it was up in the air. Y en cuanto cayó, he just hit it. And when he shot it, the ball was coming towards where we were sitting. So we saw it on the goal that we were on coming this way. And I think we saw it right away and we fucking went nuts. It was one of the craziest experiences because it was a U.S., rivalry game. It was a final technically to go to the Confederations Cup. So it was one of my top memories.
I like it. How was the celebration, dude? I can imagine beer everywhere. Everyone was like, ah.
Yeah, it was one of those adrenaline rushes that you literally have to catch your breath from once it starts coming down. But the overall experience, just going to the Rose Bowl, getting in, getting out, being in there, all the raza, it was wild. It was fucking awesome.
With your compas too. Who else was it? Just you, Gabby, or who else was there?
I think my brother was there.
Maria.
Yeah, there's a group
Daniel, Kiko. There's a bunch of fools, but we were the ones we were sitting together.
We were supposed to go out for my birthday, but we were fucking just.
We were toast by the time the game was over.
Damn,
yeah, that was a wild one to be at.
Good one. I like that. So I'm gonna say my number one top soccer moment that I have witnessed in my lifetime, and I'm so happy that I did, and I think all of you will agree when I say The '06 championship against Toluca.
Ooh.
I can remember that game clearly, like the second half especially, when freaking Bofo scored that goal. And then seeing Osvaldo Sanchez lift up the trophy. And, you know, at that in 2006, I was in high school. Most of us were like in high school and stuff still. And that was the first time I was able to see Chivas lift a championship. So I have that jersey somewhere, dude, because I was like, I need to save that jersey also when they won that championship, because I was like, it's going to be freaking memorable in the future. So the '06, watching the '06 championship against Toluca, for me, is my top number one soccer moment that I will never forget.
Yeah, thinking back on that team, it's like sometimes I'm like, bro, we need a player like anyone, just one of those. Osvaldo Sanchez, Omar Bravo, Ramoncito Morales,
Yeah, Ramoncito was there.
Bautista, someone who fucking cares and will take the leadership and will show the rest of these guys what it means to be on this team.
And they got to look back at that too. Look back at that game and see how those players played to get some inspiration.
That's a good one, brother.
Good one. All right, Gabby, what's your number one?
Well, my compadre stole one and you stole one. Well, I'm going to pick this one because the other ones you guys won't pick because you guys weren't there. I was there by myself. But this one, it's in my Mount Rushmore because of the experience. Now, although we lost, it was the one of the best soccer experience I've ever had, and it was a Chivas Tigres final, which I attended with my compadre.
In Guadalajara?
In Guadalajara. So it was like we attended our first final in Mexico.
Yeah.
At Estadio Akron, and like it was fucking packed, and then just kind of the I remember just trying to buy the tickets and are we gonna go? Are we not gonna go? Hey, how much are the tickets? $300. Fucking get them. Hey, they went up to $400. Fuck, you get them.
Okay.
Hey, they went up to $500. Fuck. Should we go? No. Hey, $600. Oh, fuck.
Jesus.
$700. All right, let's get them. Fuck it, let's go. And then we ended up going to meet some dude at the store, and me and my compadre, we got the tickets, and then we went with Alejandro. We tailgated, man, outside of the stadium. We ate, we drank, like we walked in. I ended up running into one of my coworkers from work there, like
Crazy.
Dude, it was just sick, man. Like the halftime show, they performed. We were up 2-0. I mean, unfortunately we lost, but as a moment for a soccer moment to be in a Liga MX final at Chivas Stadium with all our fans, man, the day before. Oh no, the morning of too, we went to El Parque Rojo in Guadalajara, and like we were just there like chanting with the Irreverente and everybody, man. They came in buses and caravanas, and there was fools on top of the bus.
Crazy, going all crazy.
For sure, but yeah, man, just for my Mount Rushmore, that's got to be one of the ones, even though we lost, but just the overall experience was fucking awesome.
Love it. That sounds awesome. I love it. All right, we're back to Eric now.
All right, my second one is another one where I obviously wasn't there, but this is gonna stick with me forever because it was one of those days where it also was fucking. I shed fucking more than a few tears on this one, but it obviously has a sour ending too. But it was that last minute goal in the Clásico semifinal. Chiquete goes in to send us in the fucking final of the one that Gabby's talking about. Mm-hmm. That was one of those days where there was so much. I was so happy. I hadn't felt that shit in years. And the way that we won, and the way in the moment it happened, last minute, you know, everyone had doubted us from the quarterfinals, and we go in and beat America in Azteca, and it was from one of our homegrown players, and just fuck, man, that shit. Like I said, like Gabby said, obviously there's sour and we lost at Tigres, but it's one of those moments that, you know, it was with the fam. Like we were there, we all celebrated. It was just
going crazy.
The energy that exploded from fucking 6 people that I was with. You know, it was like I was there.
No, yeah, and then it was like as soon as he scored, you got to remember, like, we're in the final. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't just,
Yeah.
the comeback. It was also like, we're in the final. So I was at home going crazy because, like my compa said, as soon as that happened, I was like, bro, we got to start playing. Like, in my head, I'm like, oh, shit. So that was a good one, bro.
Crazy.
Where
Good one.
were we went to the final, or we were going to Mexico and the final happened to be there?
No, remember that's when I proposed.
Oh, yeah. And
So you guys were going to Mexico?
we were already going to Mexico, and then Chivas happened to make it to the final, so we're like, we were going to be there anyway, so
Okay.
we're like,
Yeah.
hey, let's go. And I'm like,
Yeah,
pues,
my
fuck
proposal was on Saturday and the final was on Sunday.
it. Yeah.
No, dude, y eso que les tocó that la vuelta era cerraba en Guadalajara, like everything
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
perfect
Worked
lined
out.
up.
Lined up.
That's badass. Well, yeah, that brings us to Eddie's second top soccer moment that he's ever seen within his lifetime.
Yeah, this one was back in 2005. So I was like 15, 16 years old. Obviously, I wasn't there at the time, but it's one of those games that you never forget just because of what it meant. And it was the quarterfinal of the 2005 Copa Libertadores, Chivas versus Boca Juniors. I still remember it clearly, watching it at
Oh, hell yeah.
at my house that day. We happened to host at the Heights, and I remember I ran out the back of the house to the where the basketball court was, and I was going crazy after that. Juan Pablo Alfaro goal in the 61st minute, I was going nuts because it was a pinche golazo. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It was like from
Sí,
La
dude.
agarró desde afuera, like far out from the 18. And then just 6 minutes later, Bofo hits us with a similar one from outside the box.
Golazo.
Boom. And I also remember just going nuts, bro. And that was the first leg, I believe. We still had to go to Boca, which is a whole nother
A
classic
story
memory.
when they spat on Bofo, huh?
Yep. So that's got to be up there. I know there's so many games you can choose from, but that's an iconic one that we
Hell
always
yeah.
remember.
It's in Liga MX history too, because that Chivas team, the following year, we win the championship in 2006.
Yep.
So that Chivas team is remembered in history as being one of the best Chivas teams for sure. So yeah, that's a good one. I like it. My second top soccer moment. Eric's not gonna like this one.
Ah, cabrón.
It's when CR7 got introduced to Real Madrid for the first time. Sold out stadium, Santiago Bernabeu. Ronaldo wearing number 9. Biggest signing in the history at that time also. For me, he was coming from one of my favorite teams to my other favorite team. So that moment when we saw Ronaldo in the stadium, bro, I was like fucking starstruck, like shocked, like holy shit, dude, this guy's gonna freaking be amazing for Real Madrid. And he was, but that first introduction when Ronaldo got introduced to Real Madrid, I'm never gonna forget that. That was fucking amazing.
I don't. It was the start of something historic.
Also, exactly. But now that
a crazy time in soccer.
Do you guys remember what year that was? That's what I was just trying to remember right now. If it was 2008 or 2009 when he signed with Real Madrid.
You know what's the crazy part? Is that that was the biggest in history, and it was 80 million.
Yeah, exactly. In that time, that's what I was saying. At that time, that was the most expensive.
Compared to the numbers now?
Yeah. You know how many teams would pay that shit
These
right
guys
now
don't
Ronaldo?
Even give you half of what he did.
Exactly.
It's probably one of the biggest return on investments of all time.
Greatest, investments.
Yeah.
It is crazy. But that, for me, man, my number 2 top soccer moment right there. Gabby,
good one.
What's yours?
So mine isn't, this next one isn't a specific moment. It's just more, how would I explain it? I guess it's a specific weekend vibe that just has resonated great in my lifetime in soccer and my family and all that stuff. But I just remember, man, waking up on March 25th, 2016 with the fam and getting together and going to watch Mexico versus Canada in Vancouver. And had a fucking blast over there in Canada, in Vancouver. And then drove back home. And the next day, on March 26, 2016, we went to Portland to watch Chivas versus León. So, like, just that whole getting up in the morning and just being excited for the Mexico game on one day. And we went to Canada, drinking, having a bunch of fun, driving back to Seattle, sleeping, waking up in the morning and doing it all over again. And then driving back the other way to Portland to see Chivas. And again, Desmadre up there the day before, and then Desmadre the next day in Portland, man. And that was
That's bro. That was in the history books, and we got pictures. Like we were loaded up in that van.
Yeah, just fucking, and then singing on the way down to Portland, like it was bad.
Was that the time you guys got stuck in an elevator too?
Yeah, in Canada.
Yeah, it was because I was gonna say no, but it was because Keith. Remember, Keith drove up last minute to go with us to the Mexico game, and Keith was in the elevator with us.
Oh, he was. Oh yeah, and we got we were in this elevator at a mall, and we started jumping on the elevator, and the elevator
We were so excited about the game.
No.
We were so excited, and we started jumping, and as soon as we jumped, we threw it off balance, and the elevator got stuck halfway between the floors. So, like, we started trying to open the elevator door, and we can see the floor, like, literally at eye level.
Oh, shoot.
And then the fire department came, and we had to go one by one.
Bro, but it took them a minute. Hey, the funniest part, bro, I mean, technically it was our fault.
Yeah.
And the mall felt so bad. They gave us, like, a $200 or $300
$500
gift card to this fancy restaurant. And so we took it there and we all bought drinks.
Yeah.
We were all able to get 2 free drinks.
What the hell? And because you guys caused it, you still ended up benefiting.
Hey, allegedly, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. Good memories right there, right, Gabby?
Yeah.
Let's bring it back, Eric. Now we're on your number 3 now. Top soccer moment.
I'm gonna go with this one because I don't know if you guys will probably not take it, but this has nothing to do with fucking Messi ni Cristiano, none of that shit. But it was, to me, still to this day, probably the greatest game of football I've ever watched in my entire life. And for it to be topped, I don't think it ever will because of the moment. But it was this recent France versus Argentina, the World Cup final.
Dude,
like regardless of who won, like I know Argentina won, but if France would have won, but that game in general, I think it's the greatest final ever to be played of all time, in my opinion, just because of the moment, the final, the way it was back and forth. Like you couldn't fucking breathe for 1 minute of this since the moment it started. So, like I said, whoever would have won, I didn't give a fuck. But just to be able to witness that game live in like my lifetime, that's insane.
That's crazy. It is. I think I would second that too, Eric, where it's probably the best final in soccer history.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that one was a wild one. Regardless of the result, you thought the game was over? Hey, yeah, right.
And even in extra time, we got.
And even
crazy.
in extra time, the Dibu stop.
Yep.
I was like, oh, they're about to win it.
Nope.
Puts his leg out. Nope, we're going to PKs. Bro.
Yeah, definitely. Dude, that's a good one, Eric. You're number 3. All right, Eddie, what's your number 3?
One of my top memories that I have not too long ago, 2022, I was able to go down to watch the Sounders versus Pumas final for the CONCACAF Champions League. But I think Mine is gonna be the return leg, which was here in Seattle. It was a 2-2 draw over there, so here it was like all to play for. Packed house at Lumen Field. A lot of Pumas fans, but obviously more Sounders fans, and they got the 3-0 win. But overall, it's one of those where it was like the whole experience, because I was able to go down with a newspaper to the game, and we were just vibing all the way down. We were already, a little pre-funking, and then we get to the game. It was packed. Everyone was excited. There was a bunch of our family there too. And then during the game, obviously everything that happened. But then after the game, we also went to celebrate. We ran into the players at a little bar, and it was just like the overall experience was one of my top memories, and I always love thinking back at the time, regardless of like the actual result of the field. Like, it's one of those that I have in my mind for the whole experience.
Awesome. In 2022, when we won the what is it, CONCACAF Champions League?
Champions League, first MLS team to do it, and
still,
yeah, it was just a crazy, from going to Mexico 1 week and then being back here to be able to witness that. It was fucking awesome.
No, that is awesome. Well, I'm gonna piggyback off of Eddie's a little bit. For my number 3 top soccer moment is witnessing the Sounders' first championship against Toronto. And weren't you there, Eddie? Didn't you go to the Toronto final?
Yeah, in physical form, but I was literally frozen. Bro, it was literally it was one of the coldest at that time. One of the coldest. There's probably been worse now, but it was bad.
But watching the Sounders win in PKs with that Roman Torres PK, I fuck, dude, when he stepped up, dude, I was like, I don't know if this guy's going to make it. When he
stepped up, I said, oh, hell no.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, you see these defenders, you're like, no, bro, there's no way. Like, you see it all the time, and then they surprise you. They do surprise you.
Yep. And then he put it away, and I just remember it was me and my brother France at a bar watching it. Like, me and him were just going crazy, like, while these other white folks were just, like, looking at us like, the heck? And we're like, the Sounders just won, you dumbasses.
Bro, that was when Stephen Fry had arguably one of the best saves in his career.
That's right. Against Josie Altidore, with Josie Altidore header.
We were sitting at literally the perfect angle of, like, just imagine this is the goal line.
Yeah.
And I was up in the stands. So you can see that his body was going backwards. And you can see in all the videos and pictures. And it was just one of those where, like, you just held your breath because you thought it was going in. And then out of nowhere, you're like, oh, Lord.
Jesus, bro. Definitely. That one was crazy. Never forget it. That's my top 3rd soccer moment that I will never forget. All right, Gabby. Let's keep it rolling, Gabby. What's your 3rd?
My 3rd is going to be LAFC's first game ever in Seattle, Washington, March 4th, 2018. It's rare for people in general to be able to watch their team's first ever game. Luckily for me, and unfortunately for you guys, LAFC won 1-0.
1-0.
So that was great to watch. Just from being announced on October 30th, 2014 to waiting and anticipating for their first match all the way to 2018. And then I remember, man, when the schedule got announced, my phone started blowing up because people were like, dude, we're going up to Seattle for the first game. And like,
badass. It
was just, I got so lucky. And like the 32-52 came up there. And at that point, we don't know what LAFC was going to be, and to be there for the first game ever and to watch the first goal. I can remember it, man.
Live.
Vela took the ball. He megs Roman Torres, and then Rossi 11th minute chip over Fry. And the rest is history.
It's like in the future, you can tell your kids, Gabby, be like, I was there for LAFC's first game in history. Oh. It's like if one of us were, or our grandparents were there for the first game in Chivas history. How cool would that be, to hear that story? So now you have something like that, Gabby, which is awesome.
Yeah, it was cool that it sort of worked out in that way for you, too, because you were still living up here at the time.
Yep.
And then just with our family being majority Sounder supporters, it was just like, all right, this is gonna be good.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
the start of something cool.
yeah. It was for sure.
Yeah, because look at where we're at now. Now, when LAFC plays Sounders, we know it's going to be a freaking good game. All right, let's keep it rolling. Then, Eric, we're on your last one.
All right, my last one is I think it was 2016 for me, but it was so that was I think my third year I was playing academy with the Rapids, and so that summer for preseason we actually had preseason in Munich in Germany.
Oh, crazy!
So we took international preseason, got to see the installations of Bayern Munich, 1860 Munich, which is like a second division team. Go through them, train. We actually played their academy. I believe we went to another team. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was, no me acuerdo what the team, but it was another first division Bundesliga team that we went to go see, and they had us in and saw all their training facilities and everything like that, and just experiencing soccer from a European standpoint and how the way they see it and live it. It was definitely like, I was taken back. So that's probably the greatest moment I think for me so far, just because I experienced it as a player, not so much as a fan there. So that was definitely something that's unforgettable for me.
That's badass.
Damn.
And that was your first time going to Europe?
First and only time so far.
How long were you guys there for?
We were there for a week.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Did you score?
Shit, nos hicieron garras, dude. I don't even think we scored a goal. I think we played 4 friendlies. I don't think we scored 1 goal.
Hijo de su madre, but it's all right. It's the experience that counts.
Yep.
Badass. No, that is badass. Another memory you'll never forget. All right, Eddie, we're on your last one. What's it gonna be?
My last one. I don't know, man. I base a lot of my best memories on the actual experience and the memory that I have. And that one's got to be last year, 2024, March 24th, the whole weekend going down to LA to watch the Chivas Atlas friendly with my compa, Fabian, Carlos.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Am I missing anyone? No, it was just us, yeah?
Yeah.
It was just us.
We got an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Rented a car. Saw some family. Did the pre-funk with the peeps in a really random place.
Yeah. The day before.
Yeah, the night before they held a pre-funk with a bunch of the Chivas with the barra.
It was behind an auto shop.
Yeah.
Literally. When we walked in, we were like, "Are we at the right place?" But yeah, we were definitely at the right place.
Yeah.
Badass. We were able to take our trapo representing,
Yeah.
Unión de Tula. And then the game itself, a whole nother experience, just being at BMO with the porra against your rival Atlas. And the game was terrible, 0-0.
Yeah.
It was just like I said, the experience. And my compa was dying, literally was sick.
Oh, dude. Dude, I remember that. I was in the stands
literally like this guy. I don't know how he was doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And then desvelados, we had been drinking, the whole experience, man. That's one of my top memories. So I know we got to set another one up to get the rest of the cuz going.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a good one, Eddie. I was there too, so I will never forget that one too. Being in the stands, this fucking guy right there next to me, going, "Come on!" And I'm just like, "Calmate." Let me watch the game. Eddie was right. I was more focused on watching the game.
Yeah, half the people in the stands you're there to alentar, so we're doing our thing, and then anytime Fabian would sort of chill a little bit, the people are like, "Vamos, pónganle huevos." And then Fabian's like, it was so funny, man. But
Hella funny.
It was a great experience.
Love it. I love it. All right. Well, then my last one is a random one, but it's one of the best goals that I have ever seen. where Zlatan Ibrahimovic scored that bicycle goal against England from like 30 or 40 yards out. The way he got the ball, bro, and the way it went, like the defender was almost there. The defender almost got it out. But the way he freaking shot it, bro, I don't even know how he scored that. That goal for me is like probably in the top 3 or maybe in the top 2 best goals I've ever seen in my life. So that for me is my last top soccer moment that I will never forget. I don't even think anyone will, if they try to recreate that goal, I don't think anyone could do that.
Nah, there's no way. That's just
way
one of those like Gio Dos Santos moments that you're not really gonna be able to see again
for a long time. So for me to like see and witness that goal in my lifetime, badass. I'm happy I was able to see that. Gabby, you're on your last one now. Give us a good one.
Oh, I got you.
Sal.
I was at the best. And if you want to argue with me. But not because it's my team. I was at the best MLS Cup final. LAFC wins in penalties, but I just remember, man, the best team in the West, LAFC versus the best team in the East, Philadelphia Union. LAFC had won the Supporters Shield, man. I was at that final. One of the fucking greatest games I've ever seen in my life. They just kept going back and forth. At the 85th minute, we're winning 2-1, and they score a goal. It's 2-2. We go into extra time. In extra time, Maxime Chanot ends up breaking his leg, gets a red card, the goalie.
Yep.
And then we're down a man. And it's 2-2. We're down a man. Our backup goalie's in the goal. And then they score a goal. And now we're down 3-2 with 2 minutes left. Like, we're literally we're in 2 minutes, we're going to lose this game. We're down 3-2. And I remember one of my homies, the project, he's like crying and he's bawling. And I just remember I grabbed him in the head and I'm like, hey, bro, come on. We're still in this shit, bro. Just come on, let's go. And like, I don't know, bro. I'm just trying to be positive. You know, there's 2 minutes left. And I just remember Chiqui Palacios running down the line, sends the centro, and then Garrett Frank Bale, boom, ties this game 3-3 with 2 minutes left. And now that fucking place exploded, man. Exploded. And then we went to penalties, and then our backup goalie, who ended up going in for Maxime Chanot, ends up blocking 2 PKs and ends up being MLS Cup MVP. And that was probably by far the greatest soccer game I've ever been to.
It's because the storyline, dude, of how you explained it, just like in a final.
In a final, just boom, boom, and then he got a red card, last man, and then they scored a goal, and there's 2 minutes left in the game, and we're down 3-2. What are the chances of us scoring? Like, what is a percentage or chances of us scoring a game or a goal in 2 minutes down a man?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
wasn't he subbed in during extra time too?
He was subbed in, and Bell was basura for LAFC, but in that moment, they signed him for that moment, and
that's what it was.
He ended up
literally
putting it in. And then that's kind of just, when you see those replays, that's like the replay you see, like over and over.
How was the like vibe after the game was over? Like, did you continue partying right there in the park right next to the stadium, or?
I went on the field, and I remember getting on the field like in front of I walked down and like, because they came to the 32-52, but everyone started jumping down, and like I'm like on the field, and like these fools have the cup and there's beer, and like I'm recording like these fools, and like they're just right there, and like the cup is like 5 feet away from me, and Mela's like 5 feet away from me, and I'm like, yeah, this really just happened.
That's crazy.
That's a wild one to be at, let alone obviously if you see your team lifted, but you're there and you're riding the emotions of the game.
3-3.
Yeah, a 3-3 in a final.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good at home. Unforgettable.
Yeah, that one was a crazy one to watch. Just as as even if you're not a supporter of the team, you're just like one of those games that you love to see as a fan.
Yeah.
All right. Any other honorable mentions that you guys want to bring up before we close this pod tonight?
I'll throw an honorable mention that has nothing to do with just a moment in just soccer history, I guess. Fuck. It was France versus something Republic, but the Thierry handball.
I remember that.
Right.
I
La
don't
baja
remember.
con la mano.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
it
I
was
think the game that they were about to be disqualified, no, from not
Yes.
even
Yeah.
qualifying for the World
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
and
That was
they
wild.
scored the goal, and that pretty much put them in. And then I feel like that's kind of when everyone VAR started kind of like more stuff started to happen. You know, like that happened, the Mexico thing happened, and then it's like now where we're at today with VAR.
Yeah, exactly. But
about
that was like the
the-
beginning.
What about the Luis Suarez handball to
Against
save
Ghana.
in the World Cup? Gets a
Damn.
red card. The guy misses the PK, and he celebrated like crazy because they advanced.
Yeah.
That
Against
one
Ghana.
was wild,
Scandal.
fucked up. But it's just one of those things where it's like, if that's you, I'd probably do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're in the World
because
Cup. You're not gonna think that you're in the moment. You're just like, fuck it.
Yep.
That one was
he
a wild one.
clearly just went like this. He was just like, boom.
He was the second goalkeeper. That's the shit that you see on Sundays.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh
Sunday
my
league.
God.
Those are fighting words right there. If I saw a guy and the ref didn't do anything, oh,
You know which one I remember too? Is the birth of La Momia when he scored his chilena in the Sub-17 World Cup semifinal.
Oh yeah.
That shit was lit.
it was it a bicycle kick too?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, that was a badass game.
Yeah, the Vela and Gio dos Santos era too.
Oh yeah, the 17s.
The very first one, that Mexico
Yep.
one. That one was
That was cool.
cool to see.
You know, even though me and Eric are United fans, when City won their first championship,
Bro,
the way they won, where Kun Agüero scored in like the last
Agüero.
minute.
I remember, like, you're already in that anticipation. We're like, okay, the game's
Dude.
over. Man, you won,
Yeah.
and then you can see the reaction of the fans in the
Yep. Exactly.
they're hearing on the radio, and then they switch over and fucking scores and goes crazy.
It was fucking crazy.
Because that was one of the
seeing that.
first ones that they had obviously won in years. So that was like
Exactly.
when the whole Man U, I guess, not when they started
Debacle,
going
yeah.
down,
Yeah, debacle.
but it was more of like the Man City
demise.
starting to go up.
But that crazy like series of events, how Manchester City won, I think a lot of people can
That one,
remember
yeah.
how that.
You always remember that one because of it was like literally within minutes that it was all happening.
Yeah, Aguero.
You know which, real quick, it's not even like soccer related, but like I always fucking remember this word because the commentator me lo clavó en la pinche cabeza. I'll never forget it. But like it was in Africa, shabalala.
Shabalala. and Wagner Love.
If you go watch like the replays of the game, like the guy Chabalala would get the ball like just a pass, Shabalala, and then he'd pass it back, and then they'd pass it to him again, Shabalala, and I'm just like, no mames, like se me quedó esa madre in my fucking head.
Yeah, I remember that 2010 World Cup, first game of the World Cup, Mexico versus South Africa. Was he the one that scored the goal too
Scored a golazo too.
against El Conejo Perez?
Yeah.
Freaking Shabalala. No. Well, let's wrap it up, guys. I think that does it for this episode. I think even though we had a few segments, we still pulled out a great episode, you guys. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Go on there, give us some comments, some reviews. So, we want to know what you guys think. Also, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please like and subscribe so we can keep making this podcast caliente for you guys.
Let's go. Let's go. Another successful week. We'll be back next week.
Let's go, familia. Thanks for listening. Be safe out there. Stay safe out there. Take care of your family. Take care of each other. Looking forward to having another episode for you guys next week.
Yep. We'll see you guys next week. Like building off what Gabby said. Just stay safe. Diabla Naranja out.
El Diabla Naranja. Peace.
Fierro.